Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I have two holsters to show you today. One of them is for a Glock 20, the other is for a Glock 19X. I unfortunately do not own either of the actual firearms, but I do have molding props for them. And these two holsters were fairly different, so I was pretty excited to just show you guys. And I don't think I've done either of these concepts, and certainly not on a video. So anyway, I wanted to just run these by you guys, get your feedback on it, and give a little shout out to the customers. So we'll start with the Glock 20. So this one is going to Jason, and Jason ordered, he just wanted a simple shell that had a couple retention screws in it. He asked for it in flat dark earth, and his intention with it is to get some Velcro hooked up on one side of it, and then the Velcro will attach to the inside of a Hill People Gear chest pouch, I think he'd said. So if you guys haven't already seen Chris Tanner's video on that, he shows his setup like similar to that. So Jason had just asked me to do that, so that's pretty much what we got here. It does have two retention screws like I'd said, and I just got this new stamp. Excuse me. I just got this new stamp, which is just my lettering from my logo, but obviously expanded out quite a bit bigger. And I got it with the hopes of doing mostly on holsters, because oftentimes there's just not a big enough flat space here to actually stamp the full logo in, and my logo stamp is about as small as I can make it. From what the machinists tell me, it can't really go any smaller because of the details in it. So I wanted to still be able to brand it somehow, so we got the BBCK on there in my font, and yeah. So the reason I chose on this one, he'd said right-handed, which typically would mean that on this side of it, the side with the ejection port, that you would carve out part of it and then let the full back of it be a full sweat shield. The reason I chose to make it symmetrical all the way around is because what he's going to be doing with it is storing it in a pouch. And I'm not saying that this is a necessity by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not delusional about it or anything like that. I'm not thinking this is some crazy new concept or invention. I just think if I were doing this in a pouch, I would want the front of it to be equally covered, because whatever else you have in that pouch is going to have that, you know, the ability to interact with the finish on your gun, or, you know, God forbid something actually got like wedged into the ejection port. I just don't want to take that chance. So what I thought of was, I mean, it can technically be ambidextrous. He's a right-handed person, so I assume it'll always be used right-handed. However, this does give him some options as far as, you know, what he would do with it in the future if he ever did decide to carry it in his support hand. And I think most importantly is just that it protects the full gun when it's inside this pouch. I don't think anything's going to affect the handle in any negative way, but it's just a precautionary thing. It also doesn't affect the grip at all, so it doesn't change anything as far as if there was a cutout here or not. So I saw no good reason to cut that out. So anyway, that's what we're doing with this one. And I'm actually gonna excuse me guys, I'm gonna loosen it right now while I'm thinking about it, because it feels just a touch too tight. There we go. That feels better. Alright, so there we go. That's the Glock 20. The other one is a Glock 19X, and this one is actually going to be reviewed by a gentleman at a company called the Liberty Report, who do top tier gear reviews, and obviously a lot of firearms related gear, things like that. So he had gotten in touch, and I offered to do a holster that he could review. So I let him set the parameters on it. He said he wanted his also flat dark earth, but he wanted an outside the waistband, carried on a paddle, just a simple sheath, a couple retention screws on it. So this is what I made him. At first glance, I think you probably think it looks a little bit funky as far as the outline goes, and you're totally right. But why it looks this funky is just kind of how the project turned out. I didn't set out to make it super funky or anything, but check this out. If you look at the actual fit, right up into all these grooves, the G19X has a little bit more of an aggressive groove right here behind the bottom of the trigger well, and to me it would be irresponsible to just go straight across, because that's not going to complete a good high and tight grip. And I'm actually really impressed with how this one feels. Obviously, being a molding prop, I'm not it's not 100% accurate to the real firearm, but we got to assume that it's very close, probably beyond what my hand is going to notice in terms of the contour. Sorry folks. So anyway, other than the this is a prepped model blue gun, which means that some of these outcrops are afforded on there to just remove steps from the end of the holster building process, so that, you know, as you draw their gun out, you're not going to have anything snag on like the safety or the mag release or anything like that. So anyway, the reason for the funky little contours is because I really wanted you to be able to get your finger fully up in that groove before drawing, because a high and tight grip is going to greatly improve your chances of being an accurate shooter. So so there's that. The paddle itself is a Blade Tech. There are 4 or 5, I think, companies that make, you know, pretty well respected paddles. Of what I have personally used or built on holsters, the Blade Tech I think is the best. It offers some adjustability. This mechanism here, if you're wearing a belt, is something that will allow you to raise or lower it for different size belts. So if you have, you know, a 1.5 inch belt versus a 1 3/4 inch, 2 inch, whatever, you can accommodate that, and this little platform here will actually grip onto your belt. So the paddle goes inside your waistband, but that will actually go outside the waistband and hook under the belt. So this is a really nice little design. I also find that in comparison to some of the other ones, it's more comfortable, a little more compact. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. You can see that I've poked 6 holes in that outcrop there. The top 2 and the bottom 2 will allow for different ride heights at a 90-degree angle. Nick didn't specify what angle he wanted me to make it at. He had said just do whatever I want to do, and he'll be happy and adjust to it any which way. And then if you go from any of the corners to the middles, you will affect different ride heights and cant options. So I thought that was a nice little touch, just to add a slight bit of variation and versatility to it. But let me give you a quick demonstration on the, so you got a good click in. Feels like a pretty smooth draw to me. Very little rattle, very little play. I might have the Chicago screws a little bit looser than they should be for an outside the waistband carry, but part of the reason is because these little outcrops here are really sharp and aggressive. I should probably chamfer them, but currently they're not chamfered. They're very sharp, and I don't want it to chew up and create streaks on the inside of the holster. So it does have a good click in though, and I'm really happy with how this came out. It's got a good draw. One thing I actually like about these paddles is that, maybe this is just the knife lover in me, but you can actually use your thumb almost like a thumb ramp and click it out like that. So I'm a big fan. But anyway, I thought I would run these 2 holsters by you guys and see what you thought of them. Oh, we do have a big enough flat spot there to create that stamp, so I did it on that one, just got the letters on this one. Alright guys, let me know what you think of these. Let me know what you think of Glock 20 versus the 19. Who has experience with both, definitely weigh in. And of all the different variations of the Glock 19, how does the 19X stack up in your experience? Alright guys, if you like these holsters. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like the channel, I ask you to subscribe. Definitely comment down below and weigh in with your opinion on Glock and these two holsters. And I appreciate you tuning in. Stick around for the next one, folks. God bless.